Why are many hotel managers not able to take sound financial decisions and, in the process, achieve business results consistently? After all, that's the purpose, right? And this is because they must first understand how to read financial statements. Why? Financial statements represent business results, literally your performance. But your profit and loss statement is not an after the fact report that many hotel managers think it is. It is a decision making powerhouse. Imagine yourself as a CFO. Nothing wrong in imagining, right? And make every decision, financial decisions more importantly, with clarity, using your profit and loss statement dynamically. But many hotel managers are just not able to read the financial statements, the profit and loss statement, correctly, plain and simple. I will be sharing 3 simple strategies that will get you reading your P&L like a pro. I would urge you to watch all the way to the end of the video where I will share those strategies. Enjoy revenue success consistently. And you may have a question right now. Why me? Well, in 26 years in the hospitality industry, I've gone through numerous P&L revenue exercises. And in the process, I've helped hotel managers turn their profit and loss statement into a decision-making powerhouse using strategies that stand out from your competition. And in this video, we'll talk about revenue strategies. Yes, you will realize how the P&L is not an autopsy report, but a dynamic decision-making powerhouse. You don't think so? You're skeptical? Let's find out. The proof of the pudding, as they say. Firstly, you are wasting your time on the wrong thing to hone your tactics. And that's the truth. What do I mean by that? Well, you're taking a limited view, merely focusing on revenue in dollar terms. But this is nowhere near the bullseye kind of strategy required for consistent business results. Metaphorically, it's ignoring a how for a where. What you're aiming at is not the real deal. Yes, you do not know what to focus on while reading the P&L. That's the next problem that you have as a hotel manager. You do not have a clue as to what you should be watching out for, what you should be looking at, and what you should be watching out for. Both equally important. And do you have a plan of action for roadblocks, which are going to be there in any project? It becomes a waste of time and an effort if you do not know your destination clearly. Don't get into this state under any circumstances. Have you given this some thought? You're wondering now if there is a solution for your problem. Yeah, there is. However, it's not the stereotype solution that everybody keeps looking at. Not what you want. This fresh tactic takes on the problem head on. However, it will mean solid homework on your part. And homework is good, right? Can't wait to get into it? Let's go. Here are my 3 cool secrets for reading a P&L dynamically for results every time. Know where to focus on first. But it's not what you think. It's not revenue. What is it then? Well, there are better priorities you must focus on. Like what? You want to know. Unfortunately, hotel managers do not realize the value of this. Much before revenue, you must look for sources of revenue. And 2 KPIs are foremost here. Rooms available, also known as capacity, and your customer profile, represented by market segments. One is selling capacity, the other is contributing to revenue. Further, the quantity factor, represented by occupancy, and the price factor as average daily rate are equally critical. As you can see, market segments through quantity and price factors produce revenue. This is why I said earlier, don't focus on revenue first, find out the sources. You could also call market segments as the cause and revenue as the effect. Let me remind you what we said earlier. Cause is supreme and effect only comes later. This is again why a revenue effect cannot be the priority first. All of this is best served with an illustration. Here we look at room revenue, as the effect. However, notice that revenue is contributed by market segments. Let's see the cause for this effect. In other words, the effect room revenue in the previous slide is contributed by occupied room nights on the left side and the average daily rate, both for different market segments. We can sum up this entire cause-effect principle as above. Again, why revenue should not be your first focus. Market segments can also be known as source KPIs. Unfortunately, often hotel managers jump over this basic step. Huge mistake. Next strategy is about how revenue achievement is compared during hotel business performance. It's the age-old budget versus last year battle. You're not sure what this difference is all about, right? Let me clarify. It's a huge error and a disastrous mistake if you mistake one for the other. That bears an explanation. The confusion between an estimate and an actual. Budgets are estimates, last year are actuals. And budgets at the most are guidelines and do not reflect actual performance. This is the classic apples versus oranges comparison. Your focus should be performance achieved, not estimated. Let's use an illustration. What happens when you look just at the comparison with the budget, which is on the left side? Notice that when you look at the budget comparison to your actuals, you're making a huge mistake. You think you're ahead, but take a look on the right side when you compare it to last year. You are way behind. And that's the power of using actuals of last year for comparison. The difference between a budget and last year actual number is just that, estimates versus actuals. And this is a powerful year-on-year comparison when you use last year. This is something that owners obsess about most of the time. And now to the last but not the least of the three strategies. What is affecting the revenue performance the most? Very critical. So two key factors to note about source KPIs. I call it the drill down approach. You're drilling down into the cause of the KPIs. Which market segments are bringing down revenue? Continuing the drill down approach, whether rooms occupied or average daily rate or both are affecting this, and all within each market segment. Again, an illustration to the rescue. Note the highlighted rectangles in red and pay attention to the variance column in blue. The market segments that show up are in red and the variance column is in blue. Wherever you see a red in the variance column, your market segment revenues are falling behind. These are the market segments with negative revenue performance versus last year. Now you know where your revenue is falling behind. The work is not over yet. You need to review your occupancy and average daily rate within each market segment. This is how you dynamically read the profit and loss statement and take impactful action. Now you can see the power that a profit and loss packs for financial decisions that produce business results consistently. And all you did was to get to the root of the problem, which is market segments. That's another reason why you should not start with revenue dollars. Unfortunately, many hotel managers don't do their homework. A word of caution, these are not all the strategies, but they are the ones you must be focused on. This is because they will result in the following. Data-driven decision-making for consistent business results, as in what are market segments that are falling behind, which ones have lower occupancy, and which ones have better average daily rates. Now you know how to focus on revenue contributors. See how your profit and loss statement has been transformed. This is something after your own heart, right? It's doable, as long as you focus on the three strategies that I explained. Know where to focus on first, and it's not revenue. That's number one. Number two is how you use your comparison for actual revenue. And number three, which are the market segments which are bringing down the revenue the most? You do this, effort begets results. Interested in stepping back and taking an overview of reading a P&L? Watch the above video on how to read a P&L.